Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance. We've Jason Day with a update, construction update.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll start with work that's complete. So as you know, areas C and area A, the green and orange on the map there were completed and occupied over the holiday break, and the school has been using those spaces. The one activity that has occurred in January for area C, the orchestra room, the acoustical panels were installed on the wall, and the ceiling baffles were also finally installed. That was a big item that was delayed due to delivery of that material, but that got installed in mid-January. The large addition. So last time I was here, the general contractor was working on a recovery plan, issued an updated schedule. So they started to implement the recovery plan. The iron workers have upped their crew over the last month when they can. They've been battling some of the weather, as you know, the cold temperatures, but they're still doing a great job getting the structure erected. So tomorrow morning, they're actually going to, Glancy is going to do their first concrete slab on deck pour. So the building we've divided into two areas, basically the north phase and the south phase. The north phase is closest to the front entrance and the main drive. So they'll be pouring that first floor slab on deck tomorrow. They're continuing steel erection on the south phase of the addition as well. So we're opening up areas and kind of paralleling some work as we go as one of the approaches to recover the schedule. We continue to work with Glancy and the other primes to find ways to increase the schedule acceleration to meet the date. So currently the date is shown in his schedule is early August. The team will continue to evaluate that every week as we go forward. So really just some pictures of the steel erection. These are probably, I don't know, at this point, 2 weeks old when I did the report. That's really all I have for you. So the area they're pouring tomorrow, really don't have a good shot of it. It's the picture on the right, kind of the left side, just above the concrete wall. So really that's the progress to date. Again, we'll continue to monitor it weekly, daily, and work with the team to bring this project in on time. The other item that's on the agenda that we want to mention is for the bus garage project. That project did start in the last couple of days. If you noticed, North Suburban, the subcontractor for the general contractor, has started work over there. On the agenda tonight is your third-party inspection testing agency that we would need to have on site here the next few weeks when they do start dirt work, and you need a soils technician on site. So that is on your agenda tonight. The cost in the agenda is an estimated cost. ECS is doing the third-party inspections on the intermediate school. So the approach was to try to maximize their time for the school district to utilize them on both projects, and then so forth, ultimately moving towards the elementary, that you could have a soils tech maybe bounce from one project to the other rather than having two separate entities at each project. So I don't know if there's any questions related to that from any of the board members. Okay.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Alan, unless you had anything else to update.
I've walked the site over to the bus garage. They punched down basically across from the old admin building and got the left side of the property identified for the limits of where they're gonna be working. Down to the bottom, they've started going across and marking out that perimeter as well. They're gonna continue to basically cut a trail all the way around the perimeter of the property so they can get the ENS measures set up before they start the mass clearing of the site. And I also met with Equitable Midstream to mark out the high pressure gas transmission line that cuts across the bottom corner of the property where we have to cross over with the sanitary sewer. So I met with them yesterday to walk that gas line and get it marked. So it's moving slowly, but it's moving.
It's moving. So
Hey, Alan, is that gas line a high pressure line?
It's
It
high
is.
pressure gas transmission line.
So do we have to go under it? Do we have to go under it for the
We're
sewer?
gonna go under it with the sanitary sewer.
Okay.
So they will be here when we're digging around that pipe. They will have people on site monitoring what's going on with that. That line's running like close to 600 pound of pressure. So not something you really want to mess with.
any other questions from anybody? That's all I got. Thank you.
Jason.
Thanks. All right, elementary school budget presentation, Tyler Geist.
Good evening, everybody. It's my privilege to be here this evening to give you an update on behalf of the elementary school as to where we are in our budget process for 26-27. Sticking with past practice, my colleagues and I will reference variances of $2,000 or more, of which we have two. One is an increase, one is a decrease. So looking at column, or rather row 2, we have a budget reduction of $2,650 in professional services, and that is due to the removal of the costs that were previously associated with School Messenger, which was our prior communications platform that we used. And the only costs that are now in that line are connected to Class Solver, which is the software program we use for rostering over the summer. Moving down to row 8, we have an increase of $5,000, which reflects inflationary supply costs, which also includes a 20% rise in the costs and pricing for lamination services, which has been set by the supplier. So overall, that brings us to a proposed increase of $12,625 for 26-27.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I see you've increased the budget for muffins by $500. Is that right?
That's correct.
You expect more parties this year?
We expect roughly the same moving into next year.
It's higher muffin prices.
Correct. Corn's expensive. I know. Anything else? All right, Dr. Deichler.
Good evening. I will be going over the proposed budget for the intermediate school for the 26-27 school year. Following in suit to Mr. Geist, I'll be mentioning two variances within this building's budget. The first one is at line 9, exceeding an increase of $2,013. This is in building general supplies, just acknowledging an increase needed with the expansion of the building and consumables to support those additional classrooms. Lamination, as Mr. Geist mentioned, is an increase as well. And then right below that, line 10, fine arts general supplies, there's an increase there of $2,191. And that is a result of, again, the addition with the additional orchestra room. And we have 2 educators providing instruction. So additional supplies needed to support that program. No other variances exceed that $2,000 mark. And at the end of any increases and decreases, there is a slight overall increase of $4,123 for the intermediate school budget. Any questions? Thank you. I'll pass it off to Dr. Cremone.
Good evening. I will be presenting the middle school variances. If you go to line 26, you'll see a decrease of $3,400. That is for the SOPRIS language materials. That was a program modification and we no longer need those materials. They were annual consumables. Line 27, right below it, we have a decrease of $3,710. And that's because last year we had to purchase new German textbooks. So we don't anticipate needing to do that for another probably 8 or 9 years. The largest increase you're going to see is the very next line, and that is line 28. That's new math books. That's the online version and consumables. So as in previous years' presentations, we tried to work with the company where some of them are a 5-year renewal, some are a 3-year renewal, some are a 2-year renewal. All of those renewals hit this year. So there will be next year that number will not be that high, but all of the different companies that we're working with, all of those renewables hit this budget year. And then the other larger variance over $2,000 is line 32. And that is for new equipment in our fine arts. In orchestra, we need a new 3/4 bass outfit with a bow and I might have been saying that wrong and I apologize to the music people in the room, and a 4/4 cello outfit with a bow. At the art room, we need a new kiln. We have not used the kiln in the art room for several years due to teaching change. We have a new art teacher, so now we need a new kiln to really bring the ceramics program back to life. And then in the band, we do need a new trumpet, flute, clarinet, and an alto sax outfit. So each year we renew the 1 or 2 instruments from each outfit that need an upgrade. So that's that variance. So the overall increase in this year's budget would be a $63,907. Any questions? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. We are very excited to present our proposed high school budget for the 26-27 school year. Following my colleagues, we will discuss variances of $2,000 of increase or decrease. We do want to thank our department chairs and Jody Hawley for their work in helping us to prepare the proposed budget this evening. We're going to start with row 3 for our school-wide other professional services. We are proposing an increase of $2,300. While we are removing the school messenger costs, we are projecting an increase for our South Fayette class of 2027 commencement ceremony costs, specifically related with the costs associated with live streaming the event, the audio and visual components. We saw an increase this year for a class of 2026 commencement ceremony, and again, are projecting an increase for next year as well. For row 12, we are requesting an increase of $5,551. We are moving $5,000 that has historically been held in a district level budget to our high school budget that covers the cost of our musical rights for our high school musical. So we're shifting $5,000 from a district budget line over to our high school. Row 14, we are requesting an increase of $12,859, which will specifically go to a new Gone Boarding program that is associated with our technology education program at the high school. We are working closely as a team to re-envision and enhance our technology departments. We are implementing this year and have seen significant growth and contributions to student learning and preparing them for the future. Row number 19, we are requesting an increase of $4,789 for a new course that we are excited to offer at our high school next year, which is our Science of Foods class. This will involve consumables and other materials that are necessary for that course to be offered to our students. Row number 20, we are requesting an increase of $4,321. In a future budget line item, you will see that we are transferring $3,979 from our capitalized equipment budget line over to this general supplies line, which is covering most of that increased proposed cost. Again, we will talk more about that of where we're transferring from the capitalized equipment over to the supply budget here shortly. At this time, I'm going to turn things over to TJ Selipek to cover the rest of the high school budget.
Thank you, Dr. Durda. I'm going to pick up on line 34. We have a proposed increase of $4,379 within our school-wide tech supplies subscriptions line item. The reason for this addition, we have existing tech subscriptions as well as our Respondus lockdown browser, which is a resource and tool that is utilized particularly with our teachers in our AP programs to ensure test security at some of our highest stakes assessments that we give leading up to our AP exams. In addition to that, our student government has recently purchased this school year monitors and displays that we have in some of our high traffic areas. That it comes with a subscription through Rise Vision. That subscription is a part of this request with the budget line item of an increase that we will incur the cost within the school-wide tech supplies for row 34. Row 36, we have a decrease of $2,500. This comes from within our business department. There's a particular program with Unity tests that we are not going to be utilizing within our sports and entertainment curriculum. This is just a cut that has been made, so there's a cost savings associated because we won't be using the Unity test and then another piece of the sports and entertainment curriculum. Line 37, the computer science STEM related tech supplies, fees and licenses. We have an increased item here of $15,065. This is specifically for the curriculum that we utilize in our cybersecurity program. Our Paradigm Cyber Ventures, which is the curriculum that we have utilized for the past several years, was previously provided to us through grant funding through Digital Promise. That grant has lived out its life with us. So that is a proposal of curriculum that we are providing within the cybersecurity program, which we're so proud of, grateful for, and truly one of the future focused programs that we have at South Fayette High School. So that's where that increase comes from to cover the cost of the curriculum that we offer to run those courses. Line item 40, we have an increase of $4,579 within our math department. Several items here. We're entering into our second year of our math acceleration program where students have the opportunity to accelerate within our program. Being that we're in the second year, we are projecting an increase of students entering into particular courses that require student licenses and subscriptions with that. So we want to be prepared to support our students that we have enough license or enough to cover the cost of those licenses. In addition to that, we have multiple new pilot programs that are taking place within our math department related to our future focused initiative. You're going to see a heavy emphasis within AI here, within Screen Pro, Brisk AI, and Math GPT. Among other, re-envisioning specifically a few of our math classroom spaces to create collaborative spaces for students within our teachers, part of the pilot program for what those spaces are going to look like. Line item 41, we have a decrease of $3,977 due to a reduction in subscriptions within our AP chemistry program. Just student course selection and projections that we have here. Just the numbers of enrollment. We have fewer students that are in that course in the proposed budget. So that is going to be a cost savings that we anticipate of $3,977. The last item on this page, row 44, within the fine arts department, particularly our little green machine, a proposal for a new tuba outfit. We have had this on our proposed budget the last several years. We know that there has been other costs within the Little Green Machine that we have taken on, but we feel like where the existing state of where our tubas are, this is the right time to include this in our budget. And so you can see that increase $6,880 in line 44. Moving on to the next page, I am on line 46. This is the item Dr. Durham mentioned, really just budgeted money moving from line item to line item on how it's organized. So that is a decrease of $3,979 within the media webcasting that moved to line item 20, which is more under the general supplies for some of our cameras and technology upgrades within the media and webcasting programs. Line 47, computer science STEM programs, replacement of equipment. We have a significant cost here that we are requesting of $16,598 within our Fab Lab right next door. We are proposing for a new plasma cutter, which is a piece of equipment that is going to be utilized across multiple courses within the Fab Lab engineering preparation programs that we have with our students. You can see some of the details there of what the cost includes. In addition to that, as Dr. Durda mentioned, a re-envisioning of our Fab Lab program tech ed department. We have a significant number of South Fayette high school students graduating and pursuing college degrees and experiences after high school related to engineering. And this is a piece of equipment that is going to help prepare our students for what those experiences look like at the collegiate level, post-secondary level, and career-related fields. Line item 56, under guidance and general supplies, we have a decrease of $4,600 because we're no longer budgeting for the discontinuing pass survey. We are gathering information from our students from some of our internal survey processes that we follow to make sure that we're connected with our students at the high school. The next item of note to make is line item 102, student activities and travel, proposed increase of $2,500. We have a student that is applying for a state officer position, and we want to be prepared for the likely opportunity that the student earns this position for an increase to travel expenses, which would be 4 additional meetings than we currently have budgeted for. In addition to that, you can see FBLA and state conference, national conference, that we want to have money budgeted for the travel expenses to nationals if needed. Last but not least, one that we are excited to share at the high school, line item 103, within student activities, that we have a decrease of $84,498 because we are not ordering uniforms for the Little Green Machine for the 26-27 school year. So in total, as a result of Dr. Durda's notes and my notes that I've shared with you this evening, we have a decrease at the high school budget of $5,061 for the proposed upcoming school year. Any questions from our team? Thank you, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to talk about the laptop intermediate school refresh for next year. Typically, this is something that I would include in my budget, and then we would ask for board consideration in the upcoming week. However, due to some concerns with rising hardware costs, we thought it was important to get an agreement in front of you tonight for consideration. We started, as usual, in January, the process of talking to vendors to prepare for the refresh, and we were quickly told that we can expect increases due to some shortages in memory, because the rationale we were given was that the growth and expansion, the rapid expansion of AI has led to the shortage of RAM. I'm now hearing that that could possibly also include storage, but right now we're told it's memory for sure. And that quotes would only be good for 2 weeks. So they were basically preparing us for sticker shock, and that first quote that we got back was pretty much that. Extremely higher than we've normally paid, the highest we've ever paid even during the COVID years. So it led us to start asking some questions as far as the devices themselves, the specifications. What we're told by the vendors that this could be a 2-year thing. They don't really have an outlook to even tell us, other than expect this to be a continuing trend. So the specification wise, it's important for me to keep these devices, best case scenario, it's the same exact device that we've been having, just a newer model, updated specifications. That's how we've handled this in typical years past. This year, from our perspective, from our end, we looked at the devices. The one change that we did make on this unit was we removed the touchscreen functionality on the request when we asked for the quote. It is not a function that we have seen used regularly. When we first purchased these devices, we compared everything from Apple to Chromebooks to Windows devices at the time. The trend was the 2-in-1 tablet devices. Windows 8 was a tablet. They developed the whole interface to basically feature that. That has changed. Not saying that students don't use it. It is not a nice function to have, but it is not a necessity. And we needed to find ways to try to shrink the cost of the machine down. If a student has a specific need or even a staff member, we will certainly make sure that they are set up to be successful and they will have everything that they need. Other than that, is exactly the same model and shell. To be truthful, I didn't know how this conversation was going to go as of last night because we were still negotiating and working on agreements and getting the financing and everything cleared up. It could have been a completely different conversation about different vendors. I wasn't exactly sure, but tonight I think we got a very aggressive agreement, the lease agreement from our current partner and vendor. They fought to keep the district because we were very adamant that we had to get that cost down. I think that they did that from their perspective. I think if you look at the cost of the leases, this is actually less than what we paid for the one that we're returning. I do not believe this price is going to stay 2 weeks time from now, a month from now, for sure. It will not. So I'm happy to present it this year. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have on this. I will say that part of the discussion that we're having, it was important to also try to maintain some stability for this year because we want to do a complete review of, we currently have Windows devices. With AI and the trends in the way that it is heading, it seems to be a push towards more cloud-based. We've seen that from licensing and the software that we use here. A lot of the processing is being moved from the device itself to the cloud. Seems to be where they want to steer you. So there is a potential where this device that we currently have, the Windows device, might not necessarily be the correct device for this district. However, there was some pressure for us to get an agreement done. And I'm hesitant to make a decision that would affect the classroom curriculum and what they're currently used to having because we're pressured by a vendor to commit to a quote. So it was important that we fought to at least get stability for us and to maintain that while we take a overarching larger view of the program itself and the timelines.
Rob, are you through? Are you through, Rob?
I'm sorry. Yes.
I have a number of questions. If you
Absolutely.
can bear with me, okay?
Sure. Absolutely.
I appreciate your efforts. Thank you very much. So the order here is for 1,000 laptops, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
That's just for the intermediate school.
Correct. Yes.
So is that staff and students or what?
That 1,000 is just students, I believe. I don't
That's
have the
just
enrollment. I
students.
think it was 800. I think the enrollment currently is 870. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're ordering 1,000. Is that like 100 extra then, or
That
what?
is extras. We do rotate them out. We try to get devices back in students' hand. It would be for any, well, enrollment increases as well as replacements.
Okay.
And we have run, I will be honest, we have run short in the middle school this year with some repairs for the.
All right, so these are on, are these on a rotation, this intermediate
They
school?
are 4-year lease rotation.
4-year lease rotation.
Yeah.
How,
We are
how-
discussing potentially looking at a 5-year.
what?
Yeah.
I can't hear.
Going forward, yes. With potentially that would leave a gap year. My thoughts with a gap year would be any district level like labs or staff devices, the infrastructure, Wi-Fi, like we did last year, would happen in that gap year if necessary. And that would also help with balancing out everything. Because right now we kind of, like we did the wireless last year, we're also doing refreshes at the same time and trying to get it to a little more consistent flow when it comes to that.
Are any of the computers that we have now are salvageable to continue to use? What's,
The ones that we're currently replacing, the main issue, like if you were asking if we salvage those, is that the Wi-Fi card is not, while it can handle the Wi-Fi 6, it can't handle the new security standards. So we wouldn't, and it's a hardware-based issue. It's not something that can be fixed with a software update. So it's something that we definitely wouldn't really want to repurpose, to be honest.
okay, so the current laptops we have in the intermediate school will not be compatible with the new
This Wi-Fi
security
standards.
systems. Okay,
Correct. Yeah.
so we have to return them essentially. So what about using any of them in the elementary school? Is that a possibility, or do we only have apples down there?
The elementary school is an Apple school.
Okay.
We don't have any mixed, like blended.
How about in the middle school or high school? Can we still, but I guess this is me, my questions are predicated on the fact that we can actually buy them. Are we required to return them, or can we buy them out for $1 each or something like
It's
that?
not $1, it's whatever they deem is the market value at the time. They will give, when we start the discussion of returning them, they will provide us with what that price is. It is typically it is very, I mean, it's
what?
it could be $100. It's a very good, no, it's a good price. I mean, it's a used.
Okay,
device.
so we could buy some of these for use in other buildings.
Yes, if we wanted to do that.
Do you typically do that?
I typically would hold on to maybe 30 or less for various stations or things around the district we might need. We've turned them into kiosks. We've turned them into Chromebooks. You can do that. So I will review that and keep maybe a handful.
All right, who's in the
Typically
rotation?
return.
Which building is in the rotation next, and what year would that
The
be?
intermediate school is coming that's what we're talking about right
Right,
now.
right,
The middle
after that.
school, the middle school is the school after that.
And what year is that?
That would be the 27,
28.
Okay, so that's next school year.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next year after that then. So what I'm saying is, are we looking at renewing or replacing the next 3 or
Yes.
4 years every year?
That's yes. Each building is on a 4-year rotation.
4-year rotation, that's what I'm asking.
Mhm.
Okay. So the total cost of this is like $684,000. Is
Yes,
that right? Through Dell. I know we've had HPs here in the past. I think we've had Lenovo's here in the past. We might have had some other brands here in the past. What other vendors were looked at? Was HP looked at? Was Lenovo looked at?
it
to
was
find out?
it was Lenovo that we looked at. I'll be up. I'm not. We did not have a great experience with HP. I'm gonna be honest with you. We had those devices.
I remember some of those
Yeah,
issues.
in the repair process, and then when we returned those devices, there was some. We had to fight to not. Yeah, it was.
I remember that. All right, so as to Lenovo, what,
Yes,
I assume their price was higher?
yes,
All right. And are you sure this is the best price we can get for these Dells?
yes.
And what about the financing part of this? What's the effective percentage rate on the financing? Pardon?
Yeah.
Do you know what the effective finance rate is?
So they gave us, well, so interestingly, we got the quote from Lenovo, and it was significantly cheaper than Dell's original quote. And then Dell came back with a much more aggressive pricing, and then a lease that was even lower than Lenovo's rate to us as well. So Dell kind of beat them 2 ways, both with price and with leasing. Just to, because they were they realized we were looking around and they wanted to make sure they held on to us. So I'm pulling up the lease here. So the rate factor 24373 and sorry. Give me 1 second.
Just, okay, while you're looking at that, maybe the question to Rob is, were any other financing companies looked at? In the past, we've used Laurel Capital for some financing. We've also used PNC, I think, in the past. Who else was looked at for financing other than going through Dell itself? Do we know? Ryan?
So we did not, I mean, I spoke with Laurel a number of weeks ago about this option. As Rob said, this came in last night from Dell. I mean, there was not time to turn this around with Laurel, but this lease with Dell was more aggressive than what Lenovo gave us as well. So just vetting it, comparing it against another computer company's leasing agency, their lease came in ahead of what Lenovo offered for their devices.
I understand what you're saying there. I'm just talking about their financing options. We didn't look at anything other than Dell.
Not at this exact price,
Okay,
no.
so what's the imputed rate? Do you know yet? The imputed interest rate on the lease?
Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I need a minute to calculate this. This came in, like I said, last second, so we did not have a chance to get through, or Dell did not spell out the actual percentage, so I'm just going to backtrack and figure it out myself. It was it appeared it was under 3% was their lease rate here. Yeah. Which, I mean, our leases with Laurel have been up above 4%. We most recently did one in the late fall.
All right, those are all the questions I have. Just a comment. I don't mean to be difficult about it, but just asking a question because we're going to be looking at these kind of costs every year, right, on a rotating basis. And so I want to make sure we're getting the most aggressive pricing we can. And Rob, are you assuring us that this is the most aggressive, best price you can get out there?
Yes.
And we're comfortable with this interest rate. Less than 3% is fine with me, but in the future, let's make sure, from my perspective, we get alternative financing.
Yep, understood.
Other than through the manufacturer. So go ahead, Teresa. I'm sorry. You think we have to approve this tonight, Rob?
Yes. Absolutely.
Because the pricing will hold?
I cannot assure, I can tell you that the original sticker shock was hundreds of thousands of dollars more than where you are right now. And as of
so you negotiated
Friday,
this,
it was $200,000 more.
you negotiated this down by 200,000,
almost 300.
All right, well, I thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Rob, thank you for preparing this. Ryan, thank you for working the numbers. Two questions, one from an instructional standpoint. So this may be a question for Dr. Deichler and Dr. Miller. With the removal of, I know you shared that when you were looking at features to take away off the table, that touch screen. in your conversation, Dr. Miller and Dr. Dykler, with the staff members in the IS, what has been the takeaway of in terms of an instructional process disruption, modification? How will that impact instruction in the classroom?
As Rob had shared as well, I don't think that there's going to be a significant difference. We felt that making that trade-off and checking with the use with teachers that the touch screen is not something, by not including it, it would be a significant loss to our students.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that educators had the opportunity to provide that feedback. And then I don't know if this was a line item as part of that negotiation. What was that cost savings of removing that ballpark figure?
I think it was close to 200, maybe a little over, because they have a Gorilla Glass that's on there that kind of adds to the cost of the touch function of it.
When you say 200 per
Yeah,
unit?
it's about 200.
Okay.
Sorry, that's right.
Great.
And that was early on. The prices I was talking about was already removed. That was one of the first things we did.
Understood. Just a clarification looking, and this is a question for Ryan, on the Dell financial services sheet that we have. I know the math still adds up, but before we sign off on anything, it looks like the product price and the quantity are switched.
What's that?
It's saying a product price of $1,000.
Oh, okay. I see what
So
you mean.
just before.
Yep, we will get that.
So a few things. Going forward, I'm used to seeing competitiveness between different financing rates that we've done in the past. So we know collectively that everything has been explored. I'm not comfortable as it sits right now. I do know banks are hungry for opportunities. So if we have an opportunity to reach out tomorrow to see where the leasing rates would be, I would prefer that you would do that before we execute any agreement. So that's the first thing. The second is, so you said the Wi-Fi card is,
Yes.
Explain that to me,
The one that we have now.
in the
Yeah.
current laptops.
Yeah,
Does-
it'll connect to the Wi-Fi band, but it won't accept we had to kind of do like a proxy to be able to get it to connect to the new SF Wi-Fi.
So is it anything on our side we could
No.
do with our proxy so it would
No,
connect?
no,
Okay,
No, it's the device itself and the actual physical Intel card that's in that, the model.
and
that's
there
in
was
that.
no upgrade that they could do for that?
Absolutely not.
So school districts across the United States have the same issue.
Yeah, you'll be stuck at a certain band and you're not going to be able to go higher.
So everyone is basically turning these
Well,
laptops.
this is, so when the device we're returning is most newer devices can all connect to. I don't know what other schools have, but this one device, the 31, I think 80 or 90, I'm not sure that they currently at the intermediate school, that card is not capable.
So is it unique to us?
Anyone who would have bought that model, I don't know who that would be.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't even be this specific laptop. It could be any manufacturer that would have used that specific Intel card. in their
I
device.
find that alarming, especially being on a
Well,
PEPM
It
contract,
didn't,
that,
the protocols weren't necessarily,
because that's what
standard
schools
8 years
purchase from,
ago
the
or so.
PEPM.
yes, this is Pepin.
Yeah. Okay. So are we going to find out competitive analysis from PNC and others?
Sure, I can make calls.
Yeah.
We do need to authorize like the purchase at least. I mean, we're gonna lose, like I can certainly make a call about the leasing piece of it. To Rob's point, the actual quote for the devices is, going to expire if we don't have that
So
authorization.
when is it going to expire? Like 9 AM or 5 PM?
It's not gonna expire tomorrow. I more mean, prior to the next board meeting.
Okay, so we have time tomorrow to come back to
Absolutely.
us. Okay,
Well, can we do the motion pending, competitive?
we need,
Chris, can we approve this pending confirmation that this is the lowest possible financing rate?
Yeah, I would say identify someone who's going to make that determination as part of it.
That's why I asked.
Had that, and we also had the leasing agreement to look at as well. And we don't have either. So if we can get the leasing agreement at some point to look at, as well as the additional analysis from other banking financial institutions, then I think I would be okay.
Sure.
But right now, I'm not. So I would be a no on this, right? As if we had to vote on it as it is right
As
now.
is.
Okay.
Is there a discount we're gonna lose by using an outside financing company?
That is a good question. I will evaluate that with Dell. It doesn't seem as though we would, but I'll make sure that that's the case.
You should not, because we're buying off of the PEPM contract. So I could, since I've been in this business for 32 years, I'm going to say no.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question real quick? This is Mike.
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
I'm having a hard time understanding the volatility of the prices. Like, I realize prices go up after January 1st, but like at this point of the year, I've never known the prices to be that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of high pressure sales, and I don't know why on laptops would have a high pressure sales situation where if we don't purchase them tonight, we lose the price.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
We're being told that the market is dictating that price, and consumer electronics across the board, not just laptops, are going to be going up. It's been consistent across the vendors. I've read articles on the internet. I don't have firsthand knowledge, but this is what we're being told. It's consistent. The rationale is that there's a shortage because of the expansion of data centers, the AI like expansion, and corporations basically hoarding the stock with the promise of their expansion, but the potential benefits of AI across the world. That's what we're being told, and there's now a shortage.
Anything else? Thanks again. All right, we're gonna move to the consent agenda. We have 4 items on the consent agenda. Any comments, questions? Do I have a motion to approve the 4 items on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Joe. Second by Rebecca. All in favor? Nays? Motion carries. Is there anybody here to speak on anything on the agenda? Nope. We have no old business, no new business. So Dr. Miller, Superintendent's Monthly Report.
Certainly. At your place settings, there is an AASA brochure. It says the Public Education Promise, and I brought those back from our national conference Dr. Deichler and I were at last week. And this publication really outlines the national framework by AASA, the School Superintendent Association, and articulates a shared vision for public education that prepares every student to succeed in college, career, and life. The framework is rooted in practical principles that are flexible to local contexts, but sturdy enough to support all students' development in an unpredictable future. There are 5 pillars that are rooted in the framework, and these were highlighted at the national convening this past month. I was on a panel sharing with colleagues what the 5 pillars look like in action and was able to highlight South Fayette. I've also been participating over the past 9 months in a national research team. I was selected to support Principle 4 and talk about what resources that colleagues across the nation might need in order to realize Principle 4. The 5 pillars include prioritizing student-centered learning, The second is the new basics, real skills for real life. And as a reminder from last week, I shared that we're starting a 6-week or 6-session professional development opportunity for 30 of our professionals here in the district, focused on real skills. This focuses on executive functioning for all students, K-12, as well as student engagement. The third pillar is attract, hire, retain, and reward the best people. Item 4, build highly engaged family, community, and business partnerships. And 5, measure what matters. So I was very proud to highlight the work that we're doing in these areas. And lastly, I would just share that Dr. Deichler and I were invited to a meeting that highlighted the public education promise. And because of our work and our participation in that meeting, we were told at that time that we were able to apply for a recognition or a $500 award. And I know the award is small, but I think along with that is to highlight our district even further and to showcase the work that we're doing. And so I believe that there were probably only about 20 school districts there. 10 will be chosen to be highlighted. So I'm hoping that when we look at publications like this in the future, that you'll see South Fayette highlighted as being an exemplar of the public ed promise. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Student representative monthly report, Renita.
Thank you. So this is the February report. February included several schedule adjustments across the district. Students had a 2-hour late start on Feb 9th and no school on Feb 16th in observance of President's Day. At the elementary school, students participated in the Kids Heart Challenge fundraiser benefiting the American Heart Association, where they learned hands-on CPR and raised funds to support heart health initiatives. Registration also opened for the AHN Chill Project Summer Program, which offers STEAM, mindfulness, and team building activities for students. The intermediate school hosted its annual Super Bowl food drive, collecting donations across the buildings to support the Bridgeville Community Food Bank and encourage students to give back to the community. At the middle school, students participated in Random Acts of Kindness Week from Feb 17th through Feb 20th, promoting positivity and school spirit through themed dress days. The Lion Hearts Club also held a monthly-long service project collecting supplies for patients at children's hospitals, and students prepared for performances of the musical Frozen Jr. later in the month. At the high school, students attended the Best Buddies Mardi Gras dance on Feb 20th, promoting inclusion and connection among students. Students also participated in the ASVAB assessment and enjoyed the For the Love of Music concert, featuring the Wind Ensemble Orchestra and Jazz Ensemble. Graduation planning continued as seniors finalized cap and gown orders. The school also announced upcoming performances of the high school musical Mean Girls, involving students across the district. Last Friday, students also had the opportunity to attend the So You Want to Be in Medicine panel, where professionals shared their experiences and insights with students interested in careers in medicine, healthcare, and related fields. Additionally, the Shout Club will be hosting its second annual Community Iftar on February 26th, bringing students together, families, and community members to share a meal and learn about Ramadan. In athletics, South Fayette teams had a strong winter season. The girls' varsity basketball team advanced in the WPIAL playoffs, while indoor track athletes set multiple school records and earned championship titles. Unified Bocce played second at its invitational tournament, and wrestling and hockey teams continued successful postseason and regular season competition. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Business office, we have 5 items today. Are there any questions? More comments on items 1 through 5?
Yeah, well, I have a couple of questions if I can, please. I'll be this fly in the ointment again. Let's look at item number 2. What's the financing rate on the purchase of the buses? The lease purchase of the buses. Do we know, Ryan? That's the purchase.
Well, so we didn't do the financing for this yet. We wouldn't do that until closer to when we're actually going to purchase that. Typically, we approve this in February or March and then agree to the financing in July or August when the actual buses are coming in.
Okay. Number 3, how mechanically is this going to work? I think everybody knows Michael He's an outstanding graduate, but how mechanically is this going to work with the staff?
So our plan, Mike Radich and I have been talking with Michael. We are going to have like sort of an open enrollment period when we also, typically would push out, healthcare. We have our FSA providers come in. It's obviously no cost to the district. It is, unique from our existing life insurance options. It has a couple of unique features that our existing life insurance options don't offer, which is why, we thought it might be worth exploring. So long as we have a minimum of, I believe, 20 enrollees, then it would go into effect for anybody interested in the district.
Is this open for other insurers, other vendors, other agents? If someone complains?
Not sure what you mean.
Well, let's say someone from Northwestern Mutual Life wanted to come in, or someone from Equitable or Metropolitan wanted to come in.
I mean, we as a district can agree to, allow them to come in to offer an additional life insurance policy if they were to provide something that we thought was of benefit to our employees. But this is the only one that has this sort of life insurance, the whole life insurance that essentially, the big hook for it being that there are no qualifying questions. It will allow anybody to get that life insurance policy without qualifying questions.
Okay, so my question simply is, this doesn't exclude anybody else who approaches the district?
No, it doesn't exclude
That's
anybody
my
else.
question. That's my question. That's all I need to clarify. I don't want to be the district to be accused of blocking someone else who might want to present a program on their own behalf. Thank you.
So back to number 4. I'm looking at the PEPM contract right now online. So if we can add to this, I'm just going off of past history. If we can include the model number or the manufacturer screw or whatever we have, as much information in this as possible as well, because we don't know what particular laptop, or we have nothing other than it's a Dell unit. So we need more than the contract, because I pulled it up, but it doesn't tell me which device, so I could look in. So we just need more information, because this is pretty vague. Okay.
So the actual quote was provided with in the board packet as well, that has the actual model number. And
Well, let me see where that's at, because I missed it then.
It's in the blue.
It's blue.
Yep.
Okay, let me look at it. Got it.
And the page after has the leasing information.
Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Do we need to
So we need
separate?
Should someone do a motion to amend number 4 before we vote on 1 through 5? Try to get the language how a board member wants it to read.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to amend number 4 to read, at least from my version. We can kick this around. As it is, except we would say that this is contingent upon the assurance from the business office that we are obtaining the lowest possible interest rate on this. Okay, or no, do we need to? In other words, that the interest rate being offered by Dell Financial Services is the lowest possible rate, and if not, then the financing will go to whoever bids lowest. That's kind of a crude way of saying it, but do you understand what I'm saying, Chris?
Yes. Yes, that makes sense. Does everybody understand the concept here? And I guess my interpretation is business office is going to confirm either that this is the lowest or find a lower, and is authorized to enter into a lower financing.
The lowest, yeah.
The lowest financing. Okay. Do we need a second? Do we have a second to approve this amendment to item number 4?
Second.
Okay. any questions or discussions about this amendment to item number 4?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm just stuck on this and I will move. Rob, does, I'm reading this that it says the lease quote doesn't include shipping costs or maintenance fees. So the cost that we have for financing, that is the total cost. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Because this says it's not, but I just want to make sure that that's the total cost. Okay.
I just have one more clarifying question. Again, with that quantity, Ryan, you don't anticipate, this is just from Dell, this specific in the actual PEPM contract, that quantity is correct.
That, so they need to be switched.
Okay.
Yeah. The quantity should be 1,000. The price should be.
So there's my concern. If we are approving the PEPM contract with this specific number, the quantity is incorrect. So is that an additional modification that needs to be made to that motion to correct the quantity in the
Just
PEPM
pending
contract?
verification.
Correct. So spin this back now.
Because the total price would not change. It's just a clerical error on that.
So Mr. Volt's the process on that.
So. Right, it should be 1,000 for $549, which appears to be right on this sheet.
Yes, the actual quote from the vendor, it's correct.
Okay.
The leasing
That's what I
document
was,
has it wrong.
so we're only looking at the quote from the Dell financing, which may be irrelevant anyhow. Is that?
Potentially, yes.
So maybe we will amend, maybe we can make a motion to amend to conditional upon the business manager confirming that this is the lowest financing available, or authorizing and that the information is correct on the Dell Financing Services quote, or correcting any errors, and then finding and approving better lowest financing. Does that cover everything? You know, we correct the typo here. You confirm that this is the lowest, and if it's not, you're authorized to find lower financing.
Yep.
Is that? Someone make a motion to approve, to amend that?
I'll do that. I'll make the motion to approve it as the solicitor has stated.
Second.
With apprehension, do we have any more comments on?
Okay, so now do I have a motion to approve 1 through 5 with the
Well,
amended 4?
First, we need to vote to approve the amended number 4. We have a first, a second, and no more comment.
Okay, so moved to approve the amendment.
All in
second.
favor of the amendment to item 4 in the business office?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, so the amendment motion carries. So now we have 1 through 5, including amended number 4. Our motion to approve these. Moved by Esther. Second by Rebecca. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion's carried. Personnel, we have 9 items for today, and Dr. Miller, could you help me with that?
Certainly. Item number 1, it is a recommendation to approve the resignation of high school principal, Dr. Natasha Durda, effective June 30th, 2026. On behalf of the district, Dr. Durda, I want to thank you for your service and wish you the very best as Assistant Superintendent at Mount Lebanon. Item 2 is approval for the resignation of High School Administrative Assistant Cassandra Burchek, effective February 26, 2026. Item 3 is approval to hire Aubrey Patola, substitute staff nurse at a rate of $125 per day. Item 4 is a recommendation to approve Sam Mastro as track and field volunteer assistant coach, for the spring season. Item 5 is for an EPR PBIS specialist, second grade, Jonathan Barsati. Item 6 is approval to hire Cameron Soma as sixth grade long-term substitute teacher at a rate 175 per day. He is currently one of our middle school building substitutes. Item 7 is resignation of custodian Austin Pilato effective March 6th. And I'm very proud to recommend the hiring of Thomas Salopek, TJ Salopek, as high school principal effective July 1, 2026. Mr. Salopek is currently a high school assistant principal. And item 9, very proud again to recommend the approval to hire Justin Libator as our intermediate school principal with an effective date to be determined.
Should we say the salaries, just so it's on the record?
For item 8, I was requested to identify the salaries. Mr. Salopek with a salary of $145,000 beginning July 1, and Mr. Libator a salary of $141,000 to begin when he starts and through the upcoming school year.
Motion to approve 1 through 9 in personnel.
So moved.
Moved by Joe, second by Teresa. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion's carry.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We have
Like,
Mr. Park.
congratulations. And Mr. Southpack, do you have any words for us?
Thank you so much, Mr. Gray, our entire board of directors, Dr. Miller, Dr. Deichler, our entire central administration team. I can't thank you enough. It is an honor. It is a privilege to stand here before you today to serve as the next high school principal at South Fayette. I am so excited. I am so eager and ready to get started. I just have to say on behalf of my family, my wife Haley at home, my children, we are grateful, we are humbled, and we are honored to serve in this role and capacity. I know they're cheering Dad on at home today, so I can't wait to get home and see them. So thank you. Also, I want to thank Dr. Durda for her partnership, leadership, and being my teammate for the last 5 years. I'm looking forward to continue to lead a lot of the initiatives that we have started together here as a team, and working with Mrs. O'Brien and our future leadership team. We want to make Lion Country proud, and we will. So thank you, everybody, for the opportunity. I'm grateful, and I look forward to serving our community and our district. Thank you.
I hope your wife and kids are listening.
Thank you. Mr. Libator, do you have any words for us?
TJ, you took my whole speech, so you make this easy on me. School board, just want to thank you for this opportunity. It's going to be a great honor to return here. You guys gave me an opportunity 20 years ago to start my career here in Pennsylvania, so it's going to be amazing to return to where it all began for me. Dr. Miller, Dr. Deichler, look forward to working with your administrative team, becoming a part of that, getting here as soon as I can. And I'm also excited to work with the fellow administrators over here and starting to continue the great things that you guys are already doing. I live in the district. My children are juniors and seniors. They've come up through the whole district. They've gone through. So great pride living here, being a community member, being a dad, being a husband to my wife, Ann, who's also a teacher here supporting me. So proud to continue the Librator tradition here at South Fayette.
Just for clarification, is it Librator or Liberator?
The Italian version is Liberatore.
I know that. That's why I'm asking.
Librator is that we Americanized it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. And then education, we have 5 items today. Are there any questions on 1 through 5? I have a motion to approve items 1 through 5 in education. Moved by Teresa, second by Esther. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Nothing in transportation. We have two items in athletics. Questions on athletics? A motion to approve items 1 and 2 in athletics.
So moved.
Moved by Esther, second by Rebecca. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Construction, we have two items. Any questions in construction?
I just have a question on number 2 to the solicitor. This is a standard stormwater management contract. That's right.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Any other comments, concerns, questions? Motion to approve 1 and 2 in construction.
So moved.
Moved by Len,
Second.
second by Joe, all in favor? Nays? Motion carries. 2 in miscellaneous. Any questions? Motion to approve 1 and 2 in miscellaneous.
So moved.
Moved by Rebecca,
Second.
second by Lynn, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Any comments? No. Solicitor's report.
No report for me.
All right, board comments. I have one. The girls' basketball team will be playing in the Whitfield Championship game this Friday at 7 p.m. at the Peterson Event Center. Our Lions will be playing Thomas Jefferson for the Whitfield title. Foundation, Rebecca?
We had a meeting, nothing really new. There's a golf outing, and then we discussed the grants that teachers presented. We just briefly talked about them, but nothing major.
Esther?
Scholarships for graduating seniors are due by March 13th. Also, March is the School Safety Summit. It's March 26th. So anybody interested should register on the website. That's it.
Parkway, Tom?
Nothing to report.
Shazda?
Likewise, nothing to report.
All right. No executive session we need to go to. So I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Len.